I'm sure this video is going to make somebody angry because people tend to get upset when they don't hear the things they want to hear, but that's what today's video is going to be, and I'm going to be talking about why you shouldn't get a hamster. Keep in mind, I'm not trying to discourage people from owning hamsters, but rather showing them what the realities of owning them are, because they are important to look at the cons of owning a pet as well as the pros, and a lot of people just talk about the pros of owning a pet. The first thing is that hamsters are not low maintenance. A lot of people like to label them as low maintenance, and I think this is because people try to sell them as kids' pets, and so they try to make them seem as easy to care for as possible. And a lot of people think you just have to feed them and that's it, but a hamster requires so much more. They need a lot of research to be done on them, and they need a lot of proper care, and it just takes so much more than just feeding them every day. The next thing is hamsters are nocturnal/crepuscular, so this means they're not going to be awake during the day, and this can be a problem for anybody who is really wanting a pet that they can hang out with during the day, or if somebody has a strict sleep schedule and you have to go to bed at a certain time, because hamsters generally are awake during later hours of the night. Some hamsters don't wake up until 1 in the morning, so unless you're more of a night owl, you're not really going to be able to see your hamster too often. Hamsters can be noisy at night. Because hamsters are nocturnal, they are going to be awake when you are sleeping, and hamsters tend to make quite a few noises when they're in their cage, from drinking their water bottle to running on their wheel, which sometimes can become squeaky, or it can bang against the side of the enclosure, or maybe your hamster decides to put some seeds in the wheel and then run on it and create a windstorm of seeds. So they can be quite noisy at night, which can disturb your sleep. Hamsters don't always want to be cuddled. I would not categorize hamsters as a cuddly species. I would say hamsters are more adventurous and curious, and they have a lot of energy. They are going to want to be moving more so than just sitting in one place and being held and cuddled and loved on. They would rather run around in a playpen and explore and find different seeds and things like that. So if you're hoping for a pet that's going to snuggle up beside you, a hamster most likely isn't going to be it. Hamsters are hard to please, and this can result in the owner becoming stressed because you've tried everything, you've been giving your hamster everything, you've done everything you can, and they still seem like they are never happy with what you can provide them. You can upgrade their cage a bunch of times, they may still want more space. You can try a bunch of different boredom breakers and they may seem bored all the time. So a lot of the times it can be very hard to keep them happy almost. Hamsters need a lot of space, so if you're somebody who lives in a small house or a small apartment, or you just live in a really tight space where you don't have too much room for things or any place to place a very large cage, a hamster might not be the best pet because they do need a very large cage. And some hamsters, in fact, will need something even bigger. Once they show signs of boredom, you will need to upgrade their enclosure. So if you don't have room for that, both of you and the hamster can end up pretty stressed. Hamsters have short lifespans, so this can be a little bit difficult for anybody who has a hard time with death, because you don't get as much time with a hamster as you would a dog or cat, due to the fact that their lifespans just aren't as long. A hamster typically lives 1.5 to 2 years on average, so you really don't get a ton of time with them, and death does come up quickly. Hamsters are really great escape artists, and this can be a very stressful thing if you end up losing your hamster, because they are so small. They can go under crevices, in holes, under cracks, in things, under things. They can go pretty much anywhere, and it's very stressful trying to find a tiny little animal in your home. Some hamsters have even managed to figure out how to open up their own cage doors. That is how well some hamsters are at escaping. So that is something to consider. And the last thing is, hamsters unfortunately are more prone to illnesses. Hamsters nowadays really do not have amazing genetic lines thanks to rodent mills, which if you don't know what a rodent mill is, it's a place where people breed and breed and breed hamsters, and they have no regard for their health or temperament. So if a mother hamster has history of tumors or other illnesses in her line, they don't care about that, and they're still going to breed her, which then passes on her genetics to her offspring, which then have chance of having those illnesses, which leads to shorter lifespans, more illnesses, and things like that. Hamsters are more prone to things like tumors, cysts, abscesses, respiratory infections, and reproductive issues and other illnesses. And if any of those things happen, or if your hamster happens to get sick, you are going to have to take them to your local exotic vet to get them help. So I really hope this video can help anybody who is looking into getting a hamster, and I hope it can kind of make some people realize there are some cons to hamsters, and if they can't handle those, then a hamster might not be the best pet for them. So yeah guys, thank you for watching. Bye!